Welcome to Trading Lounge and the US indices report, but I'm just really going to focus on the S&P 500. May take a look at Apple just to show something, but I think that it's important because I think now that the S&P is pretty much at the top of this structure here. And we'll talk about that in detail, but look, in a bit of a nutshell, we're looking for this top to be in place here, and we're looking for wave 4 to pull back 38.2%, which comes in around the 2000 here, 210 or whatever, but you know, we need to work with the closest largest number, and of course we'll see how it goes in terms of what pattern it creates, because wave 4s can tend to give us the most complicated patterns of all. However, this large pattern here that we're talking about was really quite simple in regards to a wave 4, so perhaps we'll be seeing something of this nature in terms of an A wave, a B wave and a C wave here, so an A and a B and a C here. We just need to be a little bit cautious, that's all, but it looks like the top is in place. However, the cash market appears that it could make another little high, but we'll look at that on the 15 when we get to the 15-minute chart there. So also what I would like to talk about as well is once that wave 4 is in here, then we'll be looking for wave 5 here. Now, it's it's possible that we can put this wave from this wave 4 here to this wave 5 here as a top in place here, and we'll probably talk about that sort of more and more as it goes. But you know, when I look at the Hang Seng and some other, the DAX and other markets around the world, we're still looking for a larger minor degree 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 to the upside to get to this point here. So we'll be mindful of both of these, but this is certainly the bias, and we'll be doing more work on that as it comes. But for the foreseeable future, we've got to be navigating around this wave 4 here, which makes it a little bit difficult for equity trades across the globe in Asia, Europe and US. So we'll probably look at those very closely and start to tidy them up a lot and take out the weakest possible ones, and also look for keep the strongest ones and look for the weakest possible shorts that we can do to hedge our book against that wave 4, but it could be a little bit time consuming as well. So a laborious trip through wave 4 is pretty much is the normal sort of standard. So coming into the 4-hour chart and just sort of looking at this trend to the upside here, this is what we're looking at here. You know, we really had that extended wave 5 come into play here, but it all fitted quite nicely, and you know, perhaps there's another way to count it as well, and that's fine too, as long as it all sort of adds up at the end of the day. There's so wave 4 here, we're looking for an A and a B and a C wave here, coming into the close to the 2000. I need to check that what that is on the cash market as well. I think it was 2007 here, but it just doesn't matter just yet, that's all. So the wave structure is really quite clear, really, from all the way up here, and accommodating the the extension in this wave 5 here in terms of the 1 and the 2 and the 3 and the 4, and then 5 little waves in here for this fifth of third here. So it's all sort of quite fitting, and we are seeing that being sold off now. The 2-hour chart here, just to drill in here a little bit further. So what we were looking for yesterday is, I think that we were sort of in this little wave 5 area here. I drew this line through here because I thought roughly that would cause a bit of havoc when it gets close there, but my target was the 272 and 80 here, so we're really on track there, which is great. So we can start to pull all this in here, but we'll look at this on the 15-minute chart. And so our main thing with corrections, there's a dozen different corrections, and Elioticians will argue if there's 11 or 12, and I just don't sort of get into that, as exciting as that is. But one of the first things that we look at to see with corrections is that if the move down here in wave A is 3 waves or 5 waves, because that can pretty much split things up a little bit of what occurs next and how they occur as well. Because if there's, just for instance, just drawing over here, if there's 5 waves down like this, then we can expect a 3-wave correction, of course, and then another 5 down here. But if we get 3 down in the A wave here, then we've either got a triangle or we've got a flat correction. And a flat correction, well, it's flat because it, in a nutshell, just stays pretty well flat here. So it would be an A and a B and a C like this, and then move up there, or turn into a triangle, and the triangle is 5 legs but all 3 waves each. So that's one of the things that we'll be looking at, but we still expect it to pull back into this sort of area here. That's the main thing. But there will be parts in this wave 4 correction here that that will have to move into the guessing game of sort of, is it this or is it that, or we got 2 counts or 3 counts, and so expect confusion in wave 4 here, and I'll try and keep it as simple as possible. The 15-minute chart here is kind of interesting because this is where we were yesterday, obviously, and we'd pushed up here for 1 and 2. So I can count the 5-wave structure up here. So 1 and 2, and there's 5 waves in this little structure here, and then the A wave, the B wave, and the C wave here. Not that it's a very good C wave here, by the way, but it's probably sort of best fit, and then 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 up here. So that's there. But when I look on the cash market, just if I can just bring a snapshot across of a web chart here, that this wave 4 here, moving up here, is I can see that we've got wave 1 here and wave 2 here. This is wave 3 here, an A and a B and a C for wave 4. So the cash market can still make another high here, okay? So that's a bit sort of, throws a spanner in the works for being a top here, because it would be nice to short this, because this one here is complete but the cash is not. So a bit of a worry, but the normal thing, if I was shorting this market, then this is my lucky number here, 72, which is part of the 9 series, and goes straight through to 144 and all the rest of it. I'd wait for that to be a retested resistance, which it is now, but it's, and then looking for 65 to become the retested resistance after that. And then the next move down is the 50. Yes, of course, the 60 will play a part as well, but it's not as important as the 65, oddly enough, and as you can see across here. So they're very subtle points, but powerful at the same time. So yeah, anyway, that's that. And the other thing too that perhaps I wanted to sort of look at, we've been looking at it, and that's Apple. So if I can just find Apple for a second. So, when this whole move here for Apple as an A and a B and a C wave here, this move up through here that we've been tracking here, obviously we're basically looking for a high up here, okay? So we've just got we're still looking for wave 1 here in that sense, do you know? So that means that when we go back to the S&P 500, where are we here? Back in the S&P 500, and I'll just take it to the daily chart again. See, you see in this case here, our orange wave 1 is way up here, yonder up here, probably be coming into this old tops here, okay, so it doesn't there. But the point is that even though it may make a new high or may not make a new high, it's still wave 1 of this degree, because all of this here would just be wave 1. It's quite powerful, where the Apple one really hasn't got off the ground. It's still way down here. Do you know what I mean? So that gives it, Where is it? So that just gives it more space to grow here. So we'll be looking at wave 4 here, like the S&P 500, wave 5, then an A and a B and a C for wave 2, and then wave 3 up here. And of course, this is the one that's going to bring home the bread and butter for the year, and that's the one we're looking for. So that's the main thing here, and of course is not to lose money in wave 4 or in the correction here. So trade less in those areas. So we've got even if you're a short-term trader, it will be worthwhile sitting on this particular trend, and have a good trend or two for the year is really, what's required. All right, that's enough yakking. You kind of got your heads around that. Thanks for tuning in. Cheers.